Shemai Elite Dangerous Chums, have I got a treat for you? The Panther Clipper Mk2 has been announced via FDev on their live stream. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a video right now about the Panther Clipper in motion, and I'm going to talk about some static images and what kind of things to expect. So let's go. Right now, looking at the Panther Clipper, you can see it's a very good looking Panther. It's very much similar to the original. It looks a little bit like a Chieftain with those four engines, because the four engines do rotate just like the Chieftain, and a little bit like the original Panther Clipper, which you can see in the bottom left hand side, much more polygonal. That's because that's from the days of the Amiga and the Atari ST back in the 90s. But what was on Elite Frontier, Elite 2. But one thing that you might notice, as well as the polygons, is that there's the actual rear end of the new Panther Clipper is cut away a little bit. So does that mean less cargo? But the one thing I do like is these engines and the little paws, the black paws, the Panther paws underneath the engines, which will rotate downwards in order to grip the surface of the ground. It's a big ship as well. It's not a small ship. That was a load of smoke trail from FDev. Cunning, eh? But it's a great looking ship. I like all the details, the lights that are on there, lighting up the words Panther Clipper or whatever you name the beast. Looking from the rear end, you can see each engine is a cluster of 4 engines at least. Well, and each of those 4 is a cluster of 1 million other engines. And notice it's got a circular part to each engine compartment, and that's because that section is the bit that rotates as we go in for a landing. Also, looking at the rear, it's like the business end, because you can see there's a lot of capsules in there. That's your cargo in order for it to get loaded up nice and easy, very pretty. So just like an aircraft, in and out, wham bam, thank you Tam. Looking top down, it's a pretty decent looking ship, a beautiful looking, well, maybe not as beautiful from the rear as from the front, but you don't really look at the rear when you're flying it, do you, anyway? So that's fine. It's just when you see other people, I suppose. Looking at the other side, you can see it's also at the front end, at the middle of the front, you've got those 8 kind of circular tube things. What do you think those are? Do you think those are power cells? And then here's the engines for landing rotated downwards, and those paws have come down to grip the ground with lots of a grippy kind of shape there to it. And if we see the people, the 4 commanders waiting for their trip with their scarab there, they're quite small compared to the large vessel. And it's also got some mini thrusters as well underneath in the main body of the vessel. Notice I was wondering if how the rear, because there's a bit of if you look to the rear engines, they're elevated a little bit compared to the front engines. So I wonder if there's a bit of a swing arm on the rear end in order to get the rear engines the same height as the front engines when it comes into a landing. Because the engines are the feet as well as the feet. Actually, not the feet are the feet, sorry. Because you can see, I suppose the engines are elevated from those feet, because those tiger paws, the Panther paws, are what are going to hold all the weight. It's a beastly looking ship, and I'm really surprised at how well they've done it. You've also got some front vents, which makes it a little bit different from the original, which is you don't want to get sucked off into one of them if you're one of those commanders on the ground there. It's a massive vessel, and is it going to be one of the biggest in the game? I suspect it is going to be, because FDev talked about cargo capacity. They are well aware of it, and this is what this ship is all about. It's coming out quite late actually for colonization. It's going to be released in the summer, so we've got another few months yet before it comes out. But I think you can agree it's a great looking ship, and what a treat. Here's the bridge. They've not finished it yet. The view from the bridge could be one of the best in the game. We really don't know yet. These modules, I'm sure they're going to have a bit of additional work on them, but they say they based it on a cargo vessel kind of ship, the bridge of one of those, which, I mean, yeah, for the rear portions, for the other bits, the other crew, the less important crew members, but I remember like I've not been on a bridge for over 10 years, so but I remember the front end where you had the first mate and the captain. It was just like a big long kind of line of equipment and readouts, and at the back you had the plebs at the back. So I suppose at the back is where all the plebs are going to stand in these. So they look good though. You know, it's going to be, it's good to see, and these are all getting built from scratch. You won't recognise these because they're all brand new. So I expect something pretty special. Hell, does that even mean that we're going to get some interiors that we can walk around in because they're putting this much effort into the interior? I hope so, but who knows? Looking at the ship then, so let's come to our concluding thoughts. Now, I put a quiz out there for what you think the cargo capacity is going to be. Now, in the original, and that square one, a looking one from the 1990s, it was 1,175 cargo capacity. Now, if you have just the flat ship itself, as in a ship with no engine, no thrusters or anything in it, it was 2,100. So that wasn't really the cargo capacity. It was more like 1,200. So when I put a quiz out, people correctly chose 1,200, 39%. Positive people going for that being it. Now, FDev, the guy Chris was saying he's had his ear to the ground. He's just been to PitCon, so he's been listening to a lot of people quoting numbers at him. So a lot of people will have been saying we want 1,200. So I think a 900 to 1,300 was a decent kind of range to think about. But as he's well aware, we're expecting something similar to what the original offered. So unless they have a good reason for not putting 1,200 in there, I suspect it will be above 1,000. But I'm not going to rule out because look at it. Look at the way it's got the cutaways with those cargo compartments. It's almost like this is a slimmed down version. Now it's called the Mk2, but we don't have the original Panther Clipper in the game. This is the SCO enhanced version. So does that mean we could have the original Panther Clipper released, ironically, at a later date with a bigger capacity, just in case everyone kicks off? Have they got that in as a backup plan? Because there must be a good... They're designing a whole new bridge for it, and I suppose they could have adapted the bridges that are available, maybe, or they could have done that, but they haven't. They're making a new bridge, so maybe there's going to be two Panthers, which is... I thought that was going to be the Tesco Valley one, because from what I remember, the original Panther Clipper was very good at cargo, best cargo in the game. It was also a very good laser miner. I think it had two turreted ones on the top and bottom for some mega laser mining for blasting those rocks. And it was my main ship, I think, for laser mining back then when I'm not sure I was very good at it, to be quite honest, because I was very, very young. But I suspect if you're looking at cargo range, I don't think it'll be a 2,100, probably not 1,500 even. But 900 to 1,300 is probably a reasonable kind of stab. I could be being neggy Nigel there. But I think FDev know what our expectations are. I have no doubt about that, having heard from what Chris was saying. And it's going to be focused on cargo. So for that reason, if they are focused on cargo, I doubt they would release one at a later date which has higher cargo, because this is the one that Chris was talking about, cargo. So cargo is at the forefront on this one. I mean, maybe they'll have a different Panther Clipper Tiny with a smaller version that will get released later. I don't know. I doubt it. If they're going to go large on this one, I suppose they'll just do one. But I wouldn't rule out that they're not going to be other variants of it. Maybe one that's got a bigger distributor. We don't know what the distributor or the thrusters or anything is yet. It's in the game files, but I suspect that's a red herring. Now, in the people who did the data mining found that the third slot was a class 7, so that would indicate slot 1 and 2 are class 8. Now there could be millions of class 7 ones to bring it up to 1,200, but that kind of suggests it's more like 1,000 or 900 rather than... But I think that's a red herring. I don't think we want to think about that too much, because they put these things in the game on purpose to pretend to put us off the scent. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Drop your thoughts down below, what you think we're going to get from the Panther Clipper. Is it going to be a miner, a cargo? Is it going to be good for combat as well? It also destroyed pirates pretty well, as far as I remember, with the original vessel. Not that I used it for combat, other than defending myself. So what do you think it's going to be used for primarily, and then secondarily and it's going to be released not spring, in summer, yeah? So I'm thinking if it's above 1,000 cargo capacity, I think I'm just going to buy it. I think I'll have done my big work on my colonisation by then, so I think it will be largely irrelevant for me, because I think I'll be finished with colonisation by then. And by the way, check out my colonisation video, which I'll release pretty soon. The final, hopefully, episode, which talks about exactly how you want to build your colonies. So to give you an idea of what to go for based on what kind of planets you have. So I hope you found that useful. Sorry if it's been a bit long, but I was just very excited about it and I couldn't get it any shorter. Thank you very much for watching. Have a most excellent day. If you are playing Elite Danger A, drop a like as well if you found it useful. Thank you.